Good morning, Susan. 'Tis the season, as you say, for hot and humid weather. Bringing on dealing with the summer, trying to anyway beat the summer issues like this when it comes to the heat. I totally understand that. It's going to be a long few days, at least a couple of days, actually. This is not going to be a long lasting heat wave. There is some good news to share. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Brad's watching. Again, if you want to comment on the social media side, you can do so on Twitch, X, YouTube, and on Facebook. Or you can just lurk if you would like in the background. We have a lot of lurkers that watch the feed there. Hi, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to Storm Talk. And thankfully, I can go ahead and tell you right now, today is a much, much calmer day compared to what we had yesterday. All right. So we're now out of the woods on getting more storm chances. We just get a break. But we've traded out from one issue to another. That's how we do it. Can't have one drama-free day, it seems like. Something else has to always give. But we're going to cover the second phase of this, which is going to be the heat here into the short term. And then as we get into the upcoming weekend, there are some storm chances, but it's another one of those 50-50 split types of weekends. I feel like Sunday has won some of those 50-50s lately. I think Saturday may win this one for this weekend. All right, air you can wear. Yeah, that's what we always like to say when it gets this humid outside, right? Let me show you a live look, though, first off, into Corden, where it was just a wild setup yesterday. I was on here with you all when the heavy rain was really ramping up, and then all of a sudden the water started to appear in the distance and flood out Corden as it flowed downstream, coming in from the Little Indian River there, and it just really just filled up this image even. You see the bridge, that car going over it in the distance in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. That's where they started to close off the road. And no one got hurt. And that's the good news, is that everyone was, I think, highly aware. Being a daytime event, a lot of alerts these days go out for flooding, which is good. Everyone was active, and they were able to get the word out quickly to get everyone out of harm's way. And it wasn't one that would be, 10 to 15 feet deep, but it was just a few feet. Which still is a problem because it's still moving water and it can still knock you off your feet. And obviously it left behind, if you look carefully, just kind of that muddy look to the road there, as we tend to see in heavy rain events. It's always the worst part, the cleanup. Oh, always gets so nasty, but they're doing really good here today. Now they're battling heat like the rest of us. They're 85 right now in Corden. Louisville right now coming in at 85 degrees. We've got 86 as you head into Mass. Oh, did I hit the button? Sorry. Thank you. I knew when I see Ryan Hoke running, that means I've done something wrong, which is 99% of the time. So sorry for those of you that did not see the stream kick on. My apologies. There are like 6 buttons. I remember usually 50% of those. So if you're just now watching, welcome. I promise I am here. All right. So only thing you missed was the camera shot according, which looks better. The heat, as we talked about, 87. The hottest we've been so far this year, 91. We did that once last month, and it was the day that we had severe weather that broke out. We had a very active evening when it came to severe weather. In fact, we hit that 91. But at the same time, we have hit 89, I believe, 4 times this season. Well, we're obviously at 87, and it's not even noon yet. We're going to hit at least 89, and I think a good chance to hit 90, and could even go up to a 91 or a 92. But as we all know, it's not just about these numbers when it comes to temperature. It's the idea of how much humidity we still have at play here in the wave country. So when you got dew points, I meant to take out Jeffersonville on that one. Sorry. Jeffersonville, you're not 81 for dew point. Don't panic. But 74 is more realistic, but even that's bad. The highest ever, I believe, is 83 that we've ever reached in Louisville. And this is just a way to measure the amount of moisture in the air. And anytime your actual temperature and that dew point number are close together on a summer day, that's not good. Not good. It's going to lead to a very sweaty type of setup. And even at night, just very humid, muggy nights. The lightning bugs love it. Mosquitoes love it. Us, not so much. When you get these numbers far apart, you got very dry air. And we're going to see that gap form for the weekend. But for right now, they're fairly close together. So when you combine that, all that together, then you got to get the heat index. And this is the number that you need to dress for as you venture out at all this afternoon. And this will be changing by the hour. Humidity levels naturally decrease during the daylight hours and mid-afternoon. We call that more of a mixing with the sun out. And then as we get into sunset, dew point levels actually rise during the overnight. So the dew point will try to ease downward just a smidge. It can only do so much because we have one thing that's really missing here and the equation of it all, and that's the idea we have a lot of ground moisture. So much rain has fallen in many areas, even areas that only got 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. That's enough to get a very soggy topsoil that adds to moisture that's lingering the lowest few hundred feet to the ground. So that allows for us, when we walk outside to go check the mail or try to venture out to work on something in the yard, it only takes you like 5 minutes. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'll just paint the deck next year. I'll just do it then. That's usually how I go. I'm like, I can wait. Try to limit your time for sure, because it takes a toll on your body. And there's no alert day for this. Now, we tend to, when we get heat advisories, we do tend to alert for the first heat advisory of the season. If it's in a heat wave, a series of 90s or higher, we do tend to alert for that first one to make sure everyone's aware. But we never really see a sense of doing alert day every day for heat advisories, because at that point, everyone knows what you need to do. It's the first one that always takes more of a toll on your body. And if you're not prepared for it, you're not from here, or you've just been accustomed to being in a cooler environment inside for a while, it can certainly affect you with headaches. Heat stroke becomes a problem. I know I'm not as young as I used to be, but even working out in the yard, you get a humid day, you get those warning signs. Like, you get that tingling in your arm. You start to feel a little nauseous, get a headache. That's not good. Your body's telling you, stop. Please stop what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a heat advisory day. It could be a day like this. And you can start feeling those conditions if you press your body too far without hydrating. And I'm horrible about staying hydrated. I'm trying to do better. But read those warning signs your body's giving you and take those breaks. Trust me on it. Don't push it, because those warning signs are designed for a reason. Okay, so it feels like 95 right now in Louisville, 97 as you head into Bardstown. The heat index has a good chance to hit 100, especially as we head into midday today, or mid-afternoon here, 100 degrees. Heat advisory level, by the way, is 105, at least 105, frequently for about a 3-hour window. That's when they'll start issuing heat advisories. Now, I really hope, St. Louis is really good about this. They issued their heat advisories for the city a lot and not so much surrounding areas. I like that a lot. We tend to, our criteria for the Weather Service seems to include just general areas of the region, Indiana or along 64, or, all the area, whatever the case may be. I like the city only one sometimes, because sometimes it really is just an issue in the city. So we'll see what happens this year, because our new meteorologist in charge, his name is Kevin, not to be confused with the other Kevin, a great guy. Used to work with the Weather Service. We've known him a long time. He's now the new John Gordon, in charge of Weather Service in Louisville. That was his style of heat advisories and excessive heat warnings for the metro area in St. Louis. So I'm hoping he'll bring that style to Louisville too. I think it would be helpful. And I think it's easier for y'all to understand too. Makes sense, right? Anyway, you see the cumulus clouds. They're reacting to all the moisture we've had on the ground. Notice the lack of them in Indiana compared to Kentucky, because the ground is so wet here and it's just, there you go, rising away. But nothing to track on the radar, at least here. We're kind of in between two different areas where storms are taking place. This is our little wave from yesterday. This is actually an MCS that started Illinois into Indianapolis. Got that lovely S shape for a while, which allowed enough of the little kink in the line to form a brief tornado warning around Indianapolis. When that took place, it became like an MCV type feature. We didn't have to worry about that here, because we knew it's on the northern side, so it was going to aim into Ohio, and it did. And this is the same one that was in Indianapolis is now here into West Virginia and almost into Virginia itself, likely heading to the beach, it looks like. So that's the reason why a lot of your clouds are there. Now, the question we have for this morning is that this initially looked like it was going to dive more like this, a little more into Cincinnati and, say, Lexington. Because if you look at the shape, there is a U shape to this. There's the middle of it right there, the lead where the rain is, and then there's little wings on either side of it. So if it were to have dove toward Lexington, it would have wings going up into Ohio and then went over wave country. And that was our concern, is that we would be on that left side or the right wing of the actual MCS that would have allowed for a flash flooding event this morning. But we lucked out. It aimed a little more east, and that's all that matters. You move it more east, then all the drama that is associated with it goes east too. So that's the reason why we didn't have as much wildness this morning. I hope no one's complaining about that. But it is the reason why we're avoiding a rain chance for most of the area. But no doubt, your eyes go to the west. This is where it's more active. The new Tornado Alley, the Midwest. Your severe risk today in that area. Look at all the Cape. And we've got some decent Cape here, but we got to have a trigger, right? And we don't have a tailpipe for one, and we don't have a trigger. That's also a factor in developing storms. You can get the heat itself sometimes to develop pop-ups. That's possible. But to try to get anything to organize without any trigger, whether it's a boundary, a front, an outflow, something like that, then it just, the moisture just sits there. Actually, it just finds your body and sticks to it and makes you sweat like crazy. And that's the case we're in. So we have a lot of fuel, but nothing for it to work with. So the front to the west and that little MCS to the east are indeed features that can move the air around to create more organized look to storm. So that's why we're in the quiet period. But no doubt, this is a bad spot to be. The latest from the Storm Prediction Center has the enhanced area, level 3 out of 5, in and around Kansas City, just north of St. Louis, all the way into Wisconsin and Chicago yet again. Now, this system is going to be dragging itself a little more north and east. And then we got our current wave here. But here's what's weird. And I promise you I'm not duplicating images, all right? We've got this round of showers and storms with a boundary. Now, the front itself cannot move through wave country here tonight. It just doesn't have enough of a kick to do that. However, the thunderstorms are going to what we usually refer to. They cold pull out from whatever is developing here into Missouri and Illinois. They will do that. In fact, they'll be doing that here soon. They'll begin to cold pull out and tilt and become a little more east-west in nature, but they will drift way out ahead of the front, and then they can only go so far. Remember, when they cold pull out, if they get too far away from the parent, there is nothing else behind them. They keep looking over their shoulder. They keep pushing them along, but if there's nothing else behind them to push them, then they just fizzle and fall apart. Well, we will see that happen tonight. It'll be in the wee hours of the overnight hours early on or Thursday. But if you are north and west of Louisville, you may get some shower activity from that fizzling out that happens from the storms, but it takes several hours for this whole process to happen. But as that takes place, we have yet another low pressure will move along the same front and fire up more storms as we move into tomorrow. While the morning round of storms that'll be over us that falls apart, that outflow will actually, at least the remnants of it, will fire up a few storms into mid-Atlantic. So look at the difference here. Here's today's severe weather map. Now I'm going to show you tomorrow's. Are you ready? Here's tomorrow's. It looked about the same, didn't it? It looked like nothing moved, but in reality, it's just advanced, kind of went over us, mid-Atlantic set up, and now we have another wave moving in to take advantage of the front. So they get fresh, brand new, shiny new storms that will fire, but the same category, level 3 of enhanced. So it's back-to-back enhanced days involving two different systems using the same front as its weapon, if you will. So that's going to be active. But the same idea is at play here. Once we get into your Thursday night, early Friday, this wave is going to move in and weaken. But this one does have more of a kick. It won't get too far away from the actual parent that'll be behind it. So it has a little bit more of a push to it. That's the reason why they included us in the marginal risk as we head into early Friday morning, because now it has a chance to actually get here and could still be strong. I don't know if it'll be severe, but it'll have a chance to still be strong as it swipes through. This is a front that has enough of a kick that will actually keep going all the way through to the mid-Atlantic this time. It's not going to stay and wait for another ride along it with another low pressure. It actually will make some progression here. In fact, you'll see that as I jump the severe map from Thursday into Friday. You see how the severe risk is more for the mid-Atlantic. They included the marginal basically wherever the morning switches out, which is the 8 a.m. window. That's kind of the crossover of days for SBC. So the last outlook was up to about 8 a.m. and this one's after 8 a.m., if it makes sense there. So more Eastern Kentucky. So the good news is if this timing holds, that means that Friday afternoon, we could have some nice weather here. We may get some late afternoon storms that may try to form on the eastern side of the front. It just depends on where it is. I don't know where it's going to be at that point Friday. But if it moves fast enough and it's already an I-75, then we're all good. We're all good. We'll enjoy a nice little breeze, lower humidity. Friday evening could feel great. It will certainly feel better than what it does now. So that will be our first chance to recover from the hot, humid air that we have, will be Friday night. Until then, the atmosphere really doesn't change. There's no front moving in. The air just gets a little cloudy at time, maybe some of those fading storms, but it doesn't reset. This is a reset on Friday night. So good timing there. And we'll hold on to that, looks like, into Saturday. All right, so let's get into Futurecast and show you how this will play out. This is our in-house model. We'll walk it through it hour by hour. Today, again, good pool day. Everyone's talking about the pool. Yep, if you like the hot, humid days, just remember when you get out of the pool, you're going to need the towel to try to dry off, because you really won't dry off by air. You'll go from being wet from being in the water to sweating. It'll be almost a complete switch out. So you'll still be wet. Your swimming trunks will never dry in this environment here. So it's just going to be one of those sticky days. So it's usually easier just to stay in the water until your fingers get wrinkly. Then I forgot what my mom used to say. It was something bad. It was like a bad omen. I don't know. I think it just meant I was wilted. But anyway, have fun on the water. Wear your sunscreen, by the way. So here's tonight's thunderstorms that form out of Illinois. Watch how they move in. They begin to cold pull out. And look how fast. Let me do that a little bit slower. Let me rewind that. There we go, into Illinois. Watch how they move in. You can see they're so far out from the main line, and they just can't survive. There's nothing behind them anymore to really lift the air. So they just run into our heat dome, and they just fall apart. So again, if you are north and northwest of Louisville, you may get a shower out of that. You could even get a little bit of wind, like a 15-mile-per-hour wind. Maybe the wind chime will make a little bit of noise as it moves by. But it keeps going in a sense. It drifts slowly east, and then it becomes more active in eastern Kentucky and Virginia later in the day. But we're not done. Now we have the next round. So here's the morning round coming back to life. It just sneaks over us because it's the quiet part of the day in the morning, not much to work with. And all of a sudden you get toward lunch, and it's like, ooh, I got more food to eat. So it's like Pac-Man. It just fires back up again, mainly to the east there. Thank you, Wavy. Now we get ready for front number 2, and this is the main one. It'll start to fire up showers and storms as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening. There they go, 8 o'clock. Once again, around Chicago down into Missouri. They continue to head east. And just as they get to us, yes, there is some cold pulling. Right here is a bit of a cold pulling action, but the main line is actually here. So pretty close. The ones late tonight and early tomorrow, the cold pulling goes all the way to the Ohio River, but the front is still actually way here, way back. Well, on Friday morning, they're very close together. So they'll have a little bit more of a kick to them, and they'll hold together better. So therefore, we all have a chance Friday morning to get some downpours, some thunder. Your severe risk, it's a marginal, as you saw there from Storm Prediction Center. I wouldn't worry about it. It'd be mainly wind-based, if anything. But they will be weakening, especially as they get further east. The weakening trend will continue to be more and more dramatic. Could you get an early morning wake-up call with some lightning and thunder? Yes, that is possible. But because of timing, with it being in the morning at daybreak, it will continue to slide toward I-75 right in a time period when we're going to start to heat things up. And we still have some of the debris clouds over us from the rain. So that'll keep us cloudy for a few hours. And while we're cloudy, the front sneaks on by. And because of that, we lower the humidity down by Friday afternoon. And now it's mainly just far southeast areas of Kentucky, Lexington area, maybe Adair County. You still may be along the front for a few afternoon storms that could fire. Otherwise, your best chance for severe will be a little more east of that even. But this is a cooler flow of air. Nothing like, a frost, no snow or anything like that, but it will be noticeably cooler and more comfortable. That's probably a better way to word it. It's going to be more comfortable Friday night. Okay, and then we'll enjoy what looks to be a nice Saturday before we got to deal with Sunday's drama. Any questions on the weekend, at least the start of the weekend? Hi, Miss Turtle. How are you doing? I would love lightning and thunder. I love lightning and thunder as well. I don't like cloud to ground as much. I like that rolling thunder. When we have an inversion, that rolling thunder is really nice. Good sleeping weather. Hey, crispy clouds look like rain right now in Valley Station. Well, you could get one or two pop-ups, but a lot of that too is an illusion because the cumulus they're relatively large and puffy cumulus today. So when the sun goes in and out, they have that darker appearance because the sun can't light up at all. There's so much water vapor sitting in it. It's dense, so it blocks the sun. So it has that mean look sometimes to it, which is why everyone says, "Oh, the skies are getting dark." Well, it's because the sun's blocking it. But I wouldn't rule out an isolated downpour. Let's see. Hey, Angela, my lawn has to dry out today so I can mow tomorrow morning before it gets hot and icky. How much rain by Friday morning? It's not going to be a repeat of what we went through. I'm thinking this is because the speed on it's fairly quick and it is fading out. So for you, Angela, there's a chance it could fade completely out and you get 0 if it dries up too fast. Certainly, if you're west of 65, you'll be more involved in the front when it's in its prime. But as soon as it's always 65, I know. As soon as it crosses 65, though, it loses even more of its gas. So I'm thinking right now it's like a quarter of an inch or less that you would likely see. It's got to slow down and redevelop. But we are one of those odd spots. It happens a lot where we get fading fronts that drift over us during daybreak periods, and then they just slide by quietly, and then you get into the next part of the heating of the day of the next day, and it's east of us, and then they get the big storms in East Kentucky. It kind of just quietly slides past us. That some of that's climate, and a lot of that's geography, just how it plays out when fronts fire up that way. Mix of good and bad on that. Some people like that because they don't want to deal with heavy rain, and some are like, I need the rain. So Angela, right now, I think if you just in general wait till Friday afternoon, you won't have to worry about the icky. If you wanted to wait until Friday. Someone said drink some Pedialyte. Yep, gotta drink that Pedialyte. Keep an eye on your pets, please. Don't let them. Don't take them walking like this time of day. Burns their little paws. It does, and even dark colored on decks will burn their paws. Usually, they'll let you know about their behavior that they don't want to walk on that. So make sure to give them fresh water if they have to be outside. Shade, but ice cubes in that water as well. But make sure that's all in the shade, not in full sun. And if you can't, limit the walks until later in the day when the concrete has a chance to cool off. And as we've been saying several times, even our newscast today, again, check the back seat. We have to, if we didn't have incidents that kept happening to that, we wouldn't have to say it every year. Unfortunately, it keeps happening every year. So we do have to keep saying it because we just have to hope that someone is listening that wasn't aware of that, or it's something they are in the car and suddenly something they heard from TVR streams just clicks in their mind, like, oh, I need to check the back seat. I've been so distracted. So that's kind of the goal. Orange County needs rain. Yeah, I know, Aaron. You guys were missed on that. And your threshold for flash flooding went up big time today. I think it's like 3 inches is now your limit. So you can handle quite a bit. But you're in a good spot. You're going to be involved in 2 fading fronts the next 2 mornings. I don't think it's going to be enough to make a huge difference, but it's something. It's something. Okay, so what about what happens next? Well, to get into that storyline, I'm going to bring up our first map of the season that indicates the tropics. And this is a low end risk from the National Hurricane Center, 10% of development. We've talked about this for a while, whether this was going to go up to Florida or head to Texas, or it was some kind of a weak system was going to get involved here for mid-June. And the outlook is for something weak to develop. I don't know if it's going to be able to get into a name system or not. It may just be a relatively large, low pressure in general. It may not be able to develop good core on it, but it will have a tremendous amount of tropical moisture that is going to be throwing into the southeast corner of the United States. So now the question is, even if it itself does not move over us, who gets all of its moisture? And we've had a lot of cold fronts lately have been dropping in. I mean, we've already talked about one, right, that's moving in Friday. There is a second that arrives on Sunday. So if we keep getting cold fronts to move in, could that shield us from any tropical rain? So let's take a look. Here's front number 1 that arrives again tomorrow night, Friday morning, or Friday, just say Friday. Fair enough. You saw, well, how that plays out on the drop of humidity. We enjoy that on Saturday. Saturday will be very warm. You may even say hot, but I don't think you'll see hot and humid. You're not going to get to the 100 heat index on Saturday, but it will be a very typical summer day. So if you want to plan anything outside this weekend, Saturday is your day, because on Sunday, another front is on its way to move in. You got to look at this as almost like a main low up into the Hudson Bay, and these little spokes are all around it like this, and it just constantly is rotating around, and it throws a cold front down like on Friday, and here comes one another spoke that arrive on Sunday, it looks like, and then there's another one after that. It's like a little pinwheel. It just keeps throwing fronts down every 2 or 3 days, has another one that join in on the fun. So we do have several chances to get rain because of that spinning nature, and in between all that, it will be hot and humid. So a very up and down forecast, really. But when it comes to the tropical moisture I showed you, it depends on when it starts to feed north. If we have a front approaching to pull it in, or will a spoke already have passed by and therefore it doesn't. It gets stuck down to the south. So here we are on Saturday. Here we go Sunday. There's another spoke that comes in. So Sunday does look to be a stormy, heavy rain type of day that will set up. Here comes your tropical moisture that we just played out. But the front is moving in. Oh, will that stop it? Well, it looks like it may. At least on this version of the Euro, the front gets far enough down to where the tropical moisture, you can see the feed of that. It's wild. Feeds all the way into the nation's capital of very heavy rainfall. They need it. They're in a drought situation there for sure. So that's good news for them. They don't want too much because, as we saw, you can go into flooding. But if this front on Sunday were just to be a little bit slower, then this tropical moisture may have a better chance to flow right into Kentucky. Of course, that would lead to flooding issues. So while we need the rain, I don't know if we want the drama of all that. I don't know if we want that. But that's the kind of scenario we're still working on in our forecast in the 10-day. How fast will the Sunday front be? Will it move all the way through, or will it be in the vicinity to allow that tropical moisture in the Gulf to move in? Otherwise, we reset. Here comes another spoke at the end of the 10-day, moves on by. Only problem with that one is this spoke, instead of being more like this, the spoke toward the 20th, near the first day of summer, is more angled like this, tilted. Does anybody know, whenever you get the flow that is angled like that, and showers and storms right along that boundary from the northwest to the southeast, I know you weather watchers know what that pattern could mean. I say could, it's only the model. But this would be the first weekend of summer officially that arrives. Someone will type it in. Hey, Blue. I nearly passed out for 10 minutes outside in heat and humidity. It doesn't take long, you know, especially on bright sunny days. If you have any type of vision issues, then that will can make you dizzy, and then that makes you nauseous in itself, right? And the grass pond's still high. You guys are close. It's just tornadoes. Crispy says flooding. Adam went, okay, Adam, you're going to the extreme. You're going to derecho. Close. Connie says thanks. You're welcome, Connie. Nope. Not a derecho. It's 3 initials that we say often. I feel like I say it too much, actually. And it's not. That's not. Hi, Myra and Sari. How you doing? What's up? You come and say hi?
Come and say hi.
Well, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, sorry. There's it. Wow, you're in the studio right now.
I know.
Isn't it a nice studio back there?
That is a nice studio.
I left the lights on.
You doing good?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Everybody recovered from yesterday?
They are. They're playing a name game on a system. Who said it first? Someone did. Crispy got it. MCS.
Oh, Crispy was on my stream earlier.
What?
Yeah.
Crispy says he's only on my stream.
Crispy was on my stream too. I saw you, Crispy. I see
Crispy.
you. I see you, Crispy.
Do you all do that? Are you all going on other streams? You all always tell me you're just like only on my stream.
Brisket or crispy something.
Well,
right?
we say biscuit all the time.
Biscuit, crispy.
But it's brisket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah.
See? I see you.
Well. The truth is out now, Crispy.
What you talking about today?
Oh, weather.
Okay.
What you talking about today?
I did a lot today.
Yeah.
We did the KYTC I-65 traffic update.
Oh, is it all open now?
No. Oh. And then we did Governor Mike Braun talking about drugs in Indiana and the flooding. And then we did LMPD press conference about their summer task force.
Yeah.
Cracking down on some of those entertainment districts that have had some issues. It's been a busy day.
Yeah.
It's only Wednesday.
And it's only 1 o'clock.
I know. See you in 2 hours. What everybody's saying.
Crispy says I've been called out. Roz says hi.
Hey.
To Myra.
Hi.
Graham says hi as
Hey,
well.
Graham.
Brad says I'm loyal to you, Brian. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad.
Brad, come on. Join Team Myra.
Honest, I don't blame you out to go to watch Myra. I don't. She's way more entertaining than I am.
That's true.
What? You're not?
Okay. I'll let you work.
Okay.
I just wanted to say hello.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
I'm
gonna go get some coffee. I didn't have my coffee this morning.
It's hot outside. Have you not stepped outside?
I need caffeine. It's for my well-being, for your well-being, and for my well-being.
In that case, then absolutely get coffee. Okay. It'll go easier on me later at 3. Okay. Always nice when she stops by. And I'm just teasing you guys. You know, I don't mind where y'all go. I know you guys go to other stations too and other chats. I think everybody in the market knows your name. Your name's on there. We always love when we hear that you guys are our favorite. And then we know you say it to the next place and the next place, the next place. But we love you anyway. At least you're spending time right now. That's all that matters, right? Just hang out with us right now. Can opener update. Mine's still on the kitchen counter. Thanks for asking, Shonda. No, I'm teasing. I don't know what the update is on 3rd Street. But yes, it's an MCS flow, which is a typical summer flow. Sorry, I got distracted on that, but that's what it would mean in mid-June. Now, I've seen this happen in the modeling a few times and it goes away. But anyway, that would be the pattern that we could run into later in time. So the moral of the story here that will sum up the entire 10-day, we have a chance to get a couple of mornings of fading storms. Friday night into Saturday looks good. Plan your outdoor activity then. Sunday, not so good. A little more humid, showers, thunderstorms, locally heavy rain. And then we get into Monday and Tuesday. If we get to the other side of the front, we will cool down and get some refreshing air. But that tropical moisture in the Gulf will be very close to us, as close as probably Nashville. It'll be very, very close. And if that front on Sunday is off, then we will have to raise up the rain chance in a big way. Right now, we're thinking the front will make it through, at least briefly. And then at the very end of the 10-day will be more of the MCS land of those complexes of storms that may begin to show up around Juneteenth into the first day of summer. There you go. Easy peasy, right? Everything's the 10 days. What I love about a 10-day is a story. It tells you the overall trend, and every piece kind of fits together to another piece. And when you look at the 10-day, you can kind of see how things are going to play out. Sometimes it moves really fast, and sometimes it doesn't change at all, which we know those days are coming here soon, the doldrums of summer. But right now, there's enough movement. We're still getting some decent fronts, making it through here. And as long as we do that, and every once in a while we get some rain in the forecast, we can avoid the drought talk, but we need to keep the frequency up. It doesn't now matter if you're plus or minus in rainfall, really, in February and March. Those kind of stats are over now. Now that we're getting into summer, now it matters on how often do you get rain. And if you keep the frequency going, then you can stay out of a drought. If you go more than 4 or 5 days and you get into the low to mid 90s, you're in trouble. You will quickly begin to develop the drought conditions. All right, I'm going to run. We got some systems to update here, so I need to let our engineers work on that. And while I do that, I'm going to try to track Myra down, see if she's going to get me a monster drink, because I also need some caffeine. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.